Introduction. Hello and welcome to our channel. Today, we'll be discussing a topic that has been on everyone's mind recently: pandemics. Throughout history, the world has faced several pandemics that have caused immense damage to human populations. In this video, we'll be discussing the 10 deadliest pandemics in history. 1. The Antonine Plague, 165 to 180 AD. The Antonine Plague of AD 165 to 180, also known as the Plague of Galen, after Galen, the Greek physician who described it, is believed to have originated in China and spread to the Roman Empire through soldiers. It killed an estimated 5 million people, including the Roman Emperor, Marcus Aurelius. It has been suggested by some historians that the plague represents a useful starting point for understanding the beginning of the decline of the Roman Empire in the West, but also the underpinning to its ultimate fall. Those infected suffered from the illness for roughly 2 weeks. Not all who caught the disease died, and those who survived developed immunity from further outbreaks. Based on Galen's description, modern researchers have concluded that the disease affecting the empire was most likely smallpox. 2. The Black Death, 1346 to 1353 AD. The Black Death, also known as the pestilence, the Great Mortality, or the Plague, was a bubonic plague pandemic occurring in Western Eurasia and North Africa from 1346 to 1353. It is the most fatal pandemic recorded in human history. It killed an estimated 75 to 200 million people across Europe, Asia, and Africa. The disease was caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis and was spread by fleas carried by rats. The Black Death was the second great natural disaster to strike Europe during the late Middle Ages, the first one being the Great Famine of 1315 to 1317, and is estimated to have killed 30% to 60% of the European population, as well as about 1/3 of the population of the Middle East. The plague might have reduced the world population from 475 million to about 350 million in the 14th century. 3. Smallpox, 1520s AD, 1980s AD. Smallpox was a highly contagious disease that killed an estimated 300 to 500 million people in the 20th century alone. The disease was eradicated in 1980 through a worldwide vaccination campaign. Smallpox was an ancient disease and affected specifically humans. Those who became ill could transmit the infection only during the 2 to 3 week period of acute illness. Second attacks of smallpox were rare. For the virus to survive, it was necessary for it to infect one person after another in a continuing chain of transmission. 4. The Great Plague of London, 1665 to 1666 AD. This was the worst outbreak of plague in England since the Black Death of 1348, and it was the last major epidemic of the bubonic plague to occur in England. The Great Plague of London killed an estimated 100,000 people in just 18 months, out of a total population estimated at 460,000. The disease was spread by fleas or louse carried by rats, which were rampant in the city at the time. 5. The Spanish flu, 1918 to 1919 AD. The Spanish flu, also known as the Great Influenza Epidemic, is the deadliest pandemic in modern history, killing an estimated 50 to 100 million people worldwide, making it one of the deadliest pandemics in history. The disease was caused by the H1N1 virus and is believed to have originated in birds. The earliest documented case was in March 1918 in Kansas, United States, with further cases recorded in France, Germany, and the United Kingdom in April. 2 years later, nearly a third of the global population, or an estimated 500 million people, had been infected in 4 successive waves. 6. HIV/AIDS, 1981 present. The disease is caused by the human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, and is spread through bodily fluids. HIV/AIDS has killed an estimated 40 million people since it was first identified in 1981. In the US, reporting unusually high rates of the rare forms of pneumonia and cancer in young gay men began in the early 1980s. The disease was initially called Gay-Related Immune Deficiency, GRID, because it was thought to only affect gay men. The disease was later renamed Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome, AIDS, after it was realized that the infection could be sexually transmitted and caused by HIV. 7. The Plague of Justinian, 541 to 542 AD. The Plague of Justinian or Justinianic Plague, 541 to 549 AD, was the first recorded major outbreak of the first plague pandemic, the first Old World pandemic of plague. The disease afflicted the entire Mediterranean basin, Europe, and the Near East, severely affecting the Sasanian Empire and the Byzantine Empire, and especially Constantinople. The plague is named for the Byzantine Emperor Justinian I, who according to his court historian, Procopius, contracted the disease and recovered in 542. The plague of Justinian killed an estimated 25 to 50 million people in the Eastern Roman Empire. The disease was caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis and was spread by rats. 8. Cholera, 1817-present. 7 cholera pandemics have occurred in the past 200 years, with the first pandemic originating in India in 1817. The 7th cholera pandemic is officially a current pandemic and has been ongoing since 1961, according to a World Health Organization fact sheet in March 2022. Cholera is a waterborne disease that has killed an estimated 1.3 million people since 1817. The disease is caused by the bacterium Vibrio cholerae and is spread through contaminated water. 9. The Third Pandemic, 1855 to 1956 AD. The Third Plague Pandemic was a major bubonic plague pandemic that began in China in 1855. This episode of bubonic plague spread to all inhabited continents and ultimately led to more than 12 million deaths in India and China, and perhaps over 15 million worldwide, and at least 10 million Indians were killed in British Raj, India alone, making it one of the deadliest pandemics in recent history. According to the World Health Organization, the pandemic was considered active until 1960 when worldwide casualties dropped to 200 per year. 10. COVID-19, 2019-present. Finally, we have the current COVID-19 pandemic. The disease has already killed millions of people worldwide and continues to be a major health crisis. The disease is caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus and is primarily spread through respiratory droplets. The virus was first identified in an outbreak in the Chinese city of Wuhan in December 2019. Attempts to contain it there failed, allowing the virus to spread to other areas of Asia and later worldwide. The World Health Organization, WHO, declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern on the 30th of January 2020, and a pandemic on the 11th of March 2020. As of the 18th of April 2023, the pandemic had caused 762,790,388 cases and 6,897,012 confirmed deaths. Conclusion. And that's it for today's video on the 10 deadliest pandemics in history. It's important to remember that while these pandemics were devastating, we've also made great progress in understanding and fighting these diseases. Let's hope that we can prevent future pandemics and continue to make progress in fighting diseases like malaria, HIV, cholera, and the likes that still kill large populations today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.